And welcome back. Picking up where we left off last time in Factorio, where I let the game run a little bit between bits, mainly so it can start accepting various things being shipped up here. So we got more solar panels, we could ship solar panels over. Don't actually really need the solar panels anymore because we worked out that the problem was storage and not transport. Still waiting for laser turrets to go up here, and it is just laser turrets. The rest of the stuff I need to go back and make. Apparently we have the asteroid collectors, so I'm gonna go make the engine. Laser turrets are up. The belt's in. It's gonna need a lot of solar panels to work right. Well, I suppose I need clear out a couple for a couple spaces down here for throwing things overboard when the time comes. Because while this thing's it's gonna basically have to throw the spares overboard, right? That's one way to think about it. Right now we've got the three basic processing types of asteroid. We got carbon, ice, and metal. Where we ship this platform to is going to depend upon which ones we really need the most of. I suppose I can borrow the engine design component to start with. Alright, so this engine needs 120 to provide full thrust. This makes 75 per second. So forward make 150. Yeah, we might as well double up. How many do you use? So you make 20 water. These each eat 10 every 2 seconds. So if I am doubling up, we need to double up that middle component as well. Finish that mining productivity. What yellow tech do I want it to do next? Could do bullets. We're not necessarily in the rush to do the repeatable weapon techs at the moment. Could do destroyers if I wanted some attack bots. Don't necessarily know how good these are. Don't think they're particularly great. Could do the uranium rounds. Yeah, I think we're at the point where we actually want to save those up for shipping, because we're going to need 2,000 of those for the Gleba changes that we want to make. So let's pop over to Navis. And let's actually add to our pickup here, requester, that it not just pick up space. Also go ahead and pick up the utility science. And if we're doing that, then we can go and queue up another batch of mining productivity. Keep making the mines last longer. And also we Oh, that was never running in the first place. Okay. Well, we'll actually make that run. So I say we don't need that running anymore. Like, oh, well, it was never running to first start with, so. Actually, I will still stop requesting that. You can unload that once that gets power, but don't otherwise. Because now that we're going to be running mining productivity, this bit will spin back up and work much better for what we want. There goes the bomb fizzle. All the red is shipped. Still working on filling back up on bullets. In the process of receiving its second wave of green. We'll see how well it goes with filling those ones up. I'm not actually sure if we got enough shipping capacity, so we may have to ship out to Fulgura first to make it all fit. We're getting polonium plate problems because we're out of polonium. Backed up on something, aren't we? Oh, yep, all the way backed up on metal. Okay. Can work with that. Okay, that'll unjam the whole situation for a bit. Swap that stack inserter so it goes faster. And then we're full on the solid fuel, which we'll just pull out. So it's not running the boiler setup anymore. It does mean we're not don't have a heat sink for spare solid fuel. Okay, well that has temporarily at least unjammed it. We'll see how long that lasts. Oh, so I guess it's shipping issues to the launch site. That's actually what's limiting our launches at the moment. Yeah, the whole finding enough logistic bots to move 1,000 somethings is not a fast process. Not a fast process. So that the space science actually gets reduced, because I don't think we have any stockpiling of it on the space platform, first platform. Oh, well, we have stockpiling of it, and the stockpile's backed up. So yeah, if we want to keep making science, we need to drop that from orbit, just a little bit. Okay, so everything up here is waiting for the stuff to unload. Okay. This is where I might actually benefit from a little bit faster build. Do we have a lubricant on this planet? Set up. Yes. Next question is kind of sort of the stuff I need to build it, which would be iron. That actually wouldn't be that hard. This is going to be a little bit slow to build, but because we're hand making all those bits. We'll make one of those. But obviously, to make the fast express exerters, we need to not make those by hand. And yeah, we'll upgrade that a little bit faster. That'll get this going a little bit faster, so this can all unload a little bit. Because we're vaguely, the way we got it set up, limited by half a belt stuff. Fizzle, waiting for deliveries, waiting for the bullet stockpile to fill up. Navis, we're waiting, pretty much waiting for this to load, which it just did, so off goes that rocket. So that's the balance we need for you. So presumably we're going to have a belt to supply you, belt to supply you, and a belt supplying you. Now you need carbon, you need iron ore, you need ice. If this is actually going to ship out to the planet I was thinking of shipping it out to originally, which would have been Fulgura, one of the major things we need is ice. So potentially shipping ice down to the planet to melt for various applications would be the usage. Apparently we have a serious power shortage. Well, we also got an inserter shortage, apparently. So we need to get inserters up here. Get these unloaded. You know, in the long run, everything with this is going to rejig, presumably, once we have foundries. Because we can do a lot of stuff with calcite. Such. But the first generation of this is just going to be the water carbon, well, ice carbon, metal version. And yeah, this thing's going to need lots of power. It's not going to be particularly fast, so it doesn't necessarily need deeper laser banks, but it does need lots of power. Okay, so we're no longer having complaints, but this thing's got deliveries required for it. Needs a little bit more belt, needs basically the entire launch of inserters, entire launch of chemical plants, underground. The engine I'm going to make in like 3 or 4 launches of solar power. Okay, so we got you done. So we can... Oh, actually, in hindsight, I may not have put that in the smartest of locations. I don't think I have no underground liquid capacity access there. Okay. I can work on that. So, and then cut, move, paste. Yeah, that'll work. And I can place the thing I want here, which is going to be the guy that's making ever crazy high-speed component I want today. slap you in. I think I'll just pick up the gears. Pick a pile of you. Got some gears there. That's not many gears. Put the gears in, make the product. I think we only need the one, and then make a few of those. Using this, we can accelerate the throughput of this a little bit. Or at least the rate at which it fixes throughput, you know, when it backs up. So one question is, do I have scrapper production? Or was all my scrapping artisanal? Yeah, I don't think I have scrapper production set up right now. That's just concrete, that's not that bad. Oh no, concrete, not refined concrete. The refined concrete backed. Concrete's still pretty easy to get. You're gonna make a couple surfers here. We'll do the other side as well, just to increase the throughput. May make it a little bit more prone to backing up, but in the long run, that's an acceptable risk for the short-term reward. More throughput. It's to more recyclers. So pick up some of the other components, like green circuits. And find some green circuits. Make some of the better inserters to make this go faster. Make more product. There we go. That should be running much, much faster. Just double the amount, double the throughput of all the scrap. all the scrap production, I suppose. Maybe not all the scrap, depending on how you contemplate the values on that. That looks like something that's not mineral scrap. Pushing more in to make it all run faster. Good old-fashioned, bigger, better, faster, quicker. Because yeah, we want lots of electromagnetic plants, which means I need to get the polonium going faster. We need some more gears, which is fine. Plenty of gears to pick up. Some more green circuits. So grab a pile of green circuits, grab one of those. Grab a couple more stacks of that. There we go. Now we're running at the rate of the recyclers. Double the recyclers. So just as long as the stone doesn't back up, we should be good to go. $1.2K. Now goes to filling of the Bob Fizzle. Half the military is delivered, the other half is in the process of delivering. Maybe a shortage in getting those two up. There goes this one. Well, this one wouldn't be having anything done to it because we're saturated on pulling everything off the other one. I suppose. The one drawback with only having one launch facility is when all the logistic bots are busy trying to deliver stuff to it. It's in this case we're doing bulk liftoff. And yeah, at some point we're gonna have to come back to Gleba. At the rate that it's taking for us to get back, we are seeing that some of the stuff is looking prone to spoilage. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, because most of the system is vaguely running. So we are getting a little bit of throughput. You're waiting on mash. The mash is... Why isn't that working? Oh, I see. There's like one item that's not spoiled in the way. I don't have the stuff to fix things from a distance, so I can't fix the problem without flying over there. But yeah, what's happened is spoilage is blocking a big portion of the belt, but a thing that's not spoiled is blocking the outflow from the spoilage. Until it spoils. and then it won't be blocked anymore, but that's not now. Okay. Make sure there's nothing backing up here, and there isn't yet. We got basically 3 launches of electromagnetic plants. We're gonna want at least probably 4. 4, and we'll fly off with it. Okay, the military is up. It's in the process of loading the first of the blue. Doesn't have enough to launch 2, but has enough to launch the 1. Which is why it's yellow. It's in the process of filling the first one up, which means all the logistic spots went flying off across the map to pick up signs. So if we go flying across, we might be able to see some of them. Nope, not seeing the bots fly. Oh, they have those bots. The bots are outbound, not inbound. Out to pick it up. There go the logistics spots. Allowing me to partially ignore all the problems with my spaghetti. And yeah, we're waiting on Helonium here. I don't have any Helonium just sitting around. A little bit, 31. But yeah, the main bottleneck on apparently our building of the Fulgurin stuff is our Helonium. Maybe isn't all that surprising. So we got it set up to stockpile 2,000 things, electromagnetic plant, tech, which isn't necessarily all that surprising, I suppose. Right, because that's things like energy shield. Most of the things down here in cost, that's 500. And we have to ship 1,000 times, so half a shipment, 3/4 of a shipment, a shipment. If we're doing the sign somewhere else. Mech armor is the only thing that looks like it's going to be taking more than a partial shipment, with it taking 5 shipments. Partial shipment. So yeah, some of the stuff when we just start getting it shipped back to Navis, we can get things like better batteries and better armor. Be one with the machine. I'm not actually sure if we want mech armor, but you know, we may. But we probably do want the better rope report, the better battery, that sort of stuff. One puzzle waiting for a load, and in theory, a load is existing on the planet, so it's just a process of on-the-way delivery. It doesn't have enough to fill the next rocket, but that'll be fine. I'll swap over to purple, and then maybe by the time it's done with purple, we'll do the blue. And then you have stuff to go up, so if stuff is waiting for the fizzle, then we're not too worried. Technically, everything on this location we can do from a distance. In fact, I could continue expanding this from a distance if I was willing to do it without the electromagnetic plants, which I think is what I've decided is we need to go back and solve for electromagnetic plants just to try to decrease the number of things, right? So this is crafting speed 2, which is going to rejiggle the numbers, but that'll produce a bunch of things more efficiently, I think. Crafting space, foundry. Oh, and these have to be crafted on the specific planets. Which probably means that, at least while we're dealing with things where using our agricultural plants, we might technically want to ship it all to Gleba. Because this one decays, so we can pre-stockpile everything we need, and then start up Gleba. Whereas everything else is probably best to do on the home planet. suppose I could start to upgrade my kit. Could do the energy shields and stuff while we're waiting. 10 megajoules versus 20 megajoules. Presumably it's more space efficient. Right, so that's a 1x2, that's a 1x2. Yeah, okay, so somehow we managed to squeeze 5 of those, or 10 of those into one space at the cost of making it less efficient per input. Portable fusion reactor wouldn't be too bad. We'd want to go back to Navis for that, apparently, because uranium fuel rods we do not have here, and that would be better than running on Mololph's solar. Yeah, everything here appears to be running perfectly fine. Oh, we got a little bit of scrap. I can scrap. Scrap, please. Any luck with making more polonium? Looks like no. Need more steel. That's pretty easy to produce, but that's not what's bottlenecking everything right now. I suppose in a way, as we deplete the mines here, we just have more space to build in. And yeah, I suppose I could tear down the rest of the ruins while we're thinking about it. Don't need the lightning attractor, but take the ruin out. Take the ruin out. Just giving us a little bit more scrap. And we got scrappers. We can just tell we've got spare scrappers. We can toss the scrap into the scrappers. Also clearing out more space to get into the new scrap piles here. Not that we need them yet. Let's get some of the scrap going into the scrap pile. Scrap to the scrap pile, yes. Okay, swap that over scrap. That'll get us a little bit more polonium going. Everything else is backed up. Sorry for the cessation in commentary there. Had a sneeze. I decided you didn't want to hear that. In the process of loading the first batch of purple. in the process of generating the second batch of blue. Probably are coming up when we're probably going to want the ship to at least sit out to Gleba to drop stuff off. Because yeah, we worked out we wanted like 2,000 of everything for the advanced asteroid reprocessing, or advanced processing. Reprocessing would be with metallurgical plants or packs, which that isn't going to be too hard to do. But yeah, we want the advanced processing so we can get sulfur and copper and the calcite. I think less so in the first pass with sulfur, but definitely the calcite and copper. Why use the accumulator on something, don't I? Ah, they're going to be like kinetic plants. That makes sense. Like, just toss that in there, and things are actually picking those up. The answer is yes. Let's make that go a little bit faster if we can. There we go. In fact, I'll probably make it even faster. Oh, it's still taking like years before the scrap. If I do it that way. Oh, that worked. Go back on the scrap. What was I thinking tossing in here? Oh yeah, we're gonna toss the boilers and the steam engines. It won't be too hard to remake if we need them again, but we don't really need them right now. Make 2 more of those, I think we'll be in a good place to at least contemplate leaving. Oh, maybe I don't want to leave in the middle of... Want this developed first. We got 2 more launches worth of stuff, at least to leave for the moment. How goes collecting? We got 800 of those already. We need 2,000 of those for what we want. They're not going to get shipped over in this transport wave, obviously, but... yeah, waiting for the bots. This is the drawback with trying to deliver thousands of things at once. I do that. I'm not going to drop it... No, that's not going to work the way I want it to. Okay. What we do is actually say request some more logistic bots. Press logistics bots, pick the logistics bots to have more logistics bots. Okay, that's enough. Cancel the order. Cancel pickup. At this point, presumably they're already all accounted for. Yeah, it's only like 200 more to deliver. Almost there. And then the launch is going to happen, and it's going to start requesting the next thing, probably. Which will probably be the blue, Because we have enough on the planet, in theory, for the blue. So that's on its way, half of it will be up. There isn't going to be enough for the second load, but that's fine. Yeah, there goes the first half. Worst case scenario, I can change the delivery down from 2,000 to 1,000 and drop off the first 1,000 at Gleba. Yeah, that's the limiting one. And we're doing science based off of it, so if that's the limiting one, then that's literally limiting the science, right? So we're just getting what's left through the system, science system. Oh, I see one way I can make this go a little faster, maybe? Get me a requester chest there with an inserter. And I want you to request a purple science of uncommon, the purple science of rare. So that will put it back at the top of the list, so it'll go back through the thing, back through the thing, back through the thing, back through the thing. It'll tie up some logistic thoughts doing that, which is maybe not the best choice in the world. But it's something we can definitely do. I don't think it's going to break the bank. And make it a little more efficient. Put a charging port halfway between the two places. Yeah, if we come back down here, next request is in the process of moving. 1,000 on the way, 210, 212. Okay, so I think by logistic system, I think it means that bot's currently flying with it, maybe? Yeah, probably means bots are currently flying with it. That's the inserter, full of bits. Probably the bit we needed the least to make that work, yeah. Though that might have been the closest bit. There's a power pole, the next power pole, things powered up, so now we're just waiting for the requester chest. There goes you, we're up to 18. Still winning that polonium. 1.4k of you. Almost 1.5k. And yeah, we've set it up that say go ahead and make up to 2,000. We're just waiting on the polonium, which would be moving if we had enough space in the gears. We're gonna want gears at some point, so we're not gonna completely trash all the gears. Any polonium plate in there, or any polonium in there? A little bit. 6. 6 is not a lot, but it's 1-0. Yeah, so there's 109 available on the planet, so we're not gonna complete that order. If I remember, we'll just turn this down to 1,000, so it doesn't request until we fix it. That's currently in the process of loading. Did that requester chest get put in? It did. So the requests are on. We should have some fly back and forth between here. There we go. To haul the higher quality stuff out and put it back through so it cycles back through all the labs so we get some more science going. The labs, I believe, don't mix quality levels. But if they're empty, they'll pick Well, it don't mix of quality levels of a particular type, right? If they're empty, they'll just pick up whatever is available. Like, see, this one's using the uncommon because it's been offered some uncommon when it was empty of common. And then we have one running rare for pretty much the same reason. Rares last longer than the uncommons, which last longer than the normals. Okay, that's done. Launch is probably launched. Well, I apparently spoke too soon. Still got 500 something more things to deliver. I think all the things are en route. It's just waiting for the swarm to descend with the stuff. Got 900 of those. We need 2,000 of those, so not end of the world. And we got a lot of space coming down. And weirdly, to ship space the way I want to do it, we're going to ship it first to the planet and then to space. That's how you do efficient logistics, right? No, it isn't. But that's because you can't. I don't think you can do platform transfers. I think you have to ship it down to the planet. I don't think you can ship from a platform to a different platform. Alright, so I can't come over to say science and say pick up from the other planet. Yeah, no options from import from other platform. So if I wanted to get space from the space platform to this platform, we gotta drop to a planet. And Navis makes the most sense. We're in the process of loading. Once you're loaded, yeah, we are getting a bit full, so it's just probably time to ship out one way or the other. There comes that delivery. Yeah, so let's ship out to Gleba. And we'll drop all the science on Gleba. We'll fly it over to Fulgura. Actually, I might fly it over to Volcas. Pick up some big miners again. And then fly it over to Fulgura. Of course, if we're doing that, we probably want to watch it, because we don't really got the ammo for it to sit on target for very long. We need to fly to a location, do a thing, fly to a location, do a thing, fly to a location, do a thing. I suppose to make it a little bit more interesting, I can zoom out and you can see it shooting its way through the solar system. This guy obviously isn't going to be, well, I was about to say this one's going to be faster, except this one's probably not going to be faster. It's going to use its one engine more efficiently. It's probably not going to be faster. It's a bigger platform after all. We're waiting on a bunch of solar panels over here, which, in theory, it should be received. What is actually the holdup at the launch facilities? Oh, we've just used up all the rockets for a while. That's what happened. We actually used up the rockets. One of those deliveries was fast enough that the rockets filled up. It's fair. We don't make rockets infinitely fast. That destination. That one also pickups, well, do I have iron being boxed on this planet? If I do, then we should probably pick some up. If I don't, then we can't. Yeah, I don't think I got any iron being boxed. Which means they can't request it safely. Because it won't... Well, they could request it, it just isn't going to get loaded. And yeah, we got all our foundries that we want here. We got all the big miners that we want. Slight shortage of miners. But I suppose that's one reason to bring the mines over, right? We got miners for that, just bring them over. About halfway to its first destination. Yeah, as it goes, it burns through its ammo, so... Well, actually, it probably burns through its ammo the most just sitting someplace. Because it's not ammo positive any place but Navis. And yeah, I'm running this episode too long. Apparently we're running Factorio parts for YouTube at like an hour long instead of 30 to 40 minutes long. Hopefully people who actually enjoy watching this on YouTube don't mind. Because they get more content that way, I suppose, so... Yeah, we're gonna finish the shipping of the platform around. We might take the part break while we're waiting for it to launch ourselves. Because we got 5 things we want to... Basically 5 shipments up to the platform that we want to do. Basically want to ship up the electromagnetic plants. Hopefully we'll have 20 by then. We might not. We might only have the 18. In which case we'll send up 3 loads. Because I'm not carrying any, right? Yeah, we're not carrying any. Oh, we're backed up again. What did we back up on? Solid fuel. Yep, don't necessarily what I'm going to do with the solid fuel. I suppose one reason the solid fuel might be backing up. Nope. It's because we're not rocket launching. That's the problem. I'm not burning it, and we're not rocket launching. What do I do with the solid fuel in those situations? The answer is nothing. Yeah, so we're kind of waiting for the rocket to arrive, so we've got something to do with some stuff. Hopefully that's enough storage for us to get off the planet. Okay, we're here. Begin the shipping. Why is that not shipping? Will we fill up the delivery, or is that just the drop limitations for the moment? Nope, that was fine. There that goes. And then that one. Okay. That's good. You can fly to Vulcanus from here. So go to Vulcanus. We're gonna pick up some big miners. And then we'll have that set out to Fulgura. Wait, probably via Navis. Okay, it's flowing, but it is a little backed up. Just trying to process everything. Oh, there comes a nice chunk of aluminum ore out of one of them. Oh yeah, we were making wires, so we can just ship that. That's fine. That's good. Okay. Making green circuits. Which occasionally we need green circuits for things. That's not a problem. So right now we're just limited on the polonium. So one thing to do if we're here is just to make sure this doesn't back up. Now goes the buff vessel, third of the way to its second destination. And as you can see, it basically uses about 2/3 of its engine's capacity because we have no fuel stockpile. And the fuel makers only make about 2/3 of the fuel that the engine can burn. Now goes the development of the space platform. Should be receiving stuff. Navis, you launch things. What's your problem then? Did I just ask for that much stuff? I may have just asked for that much stuff. Underestimating how much launch capacity is required to launch the laser turrets? Yeah, okay. It's half a stack per launch, so it's got 4 more launches of laser turrets to go. Another launch for the chemical plant. Yeah, there's a bunch of launches here. This is before we're even getting into crushing stuff. And I have no clue how good it is going to be at actually flying from place to place. Two-thirds of the way there. The ammo is holding. Beginning a little low, but it's holding. So is one of the things I could request from... Well, do we have a way to unload, is then the next question. If we had it delivered... Oh, we'd have to have inserters sent up. If we let that back up, I could probably... Yeah, if we reduce the amount we're checking off the back end, I could probably temporarily manage some unloading of bullets. On Vulcanus, do I have regular bullets stockpiled? No, I only have the armor-piercing ones. Which would be an improvement for the shooting things component, but that would be about it. Has arrived at Vulcanus. Okay, so quickly chuck the stuff overboard that Vulcanus wants. So Vulcanus wants that, Vulcanus wants that. We're now waiting for deliveries from Vulcanus. Produce more than 10 gigajoules of power using only solar power. Cool. Yeah, we have the logistics network bringing over those. Oh, apparently we got enough on that they can just sort of descend and do it. First thing on bomb vessels, run out of ammo. A little annoying. First launch, starting the preparation for the second launch. And working on the third launch. Grabbing those miners, yeah. Might not have it sit around for a third. Because the rocket progress is already prepped for the first two, and if it's running low on ammo, then we'd like to get it to go where it's going. There goes the second. Yeah, I'm not gonna have it wait around for a second. We're gonna ship it out. Let's have it go to Navis. We'll take a, actually this is probably the best place to go ahead and take a break between parts. So we're gonna have it stop it over Navis, hopefully pick up some more ammo at Navis. I can solve that a little bit by changing where we have our requester chest or stockpiling iron. Or passive provided chest where we're stockpiling it to pull from a different lane. Yeah. That way we can actually have it rearming quicker in orbit. And then we'll launch, are ready for launch. Solar panels going up this time to here. So we get a little bit more power. Yeah, it's gonna go to Bob Fizzle. It's almost certainly got enough ammo to make it to Bob, or the Bob Fizzle almost certainly has enough to get it back to Navis. We're not gonna necessarily drop anything off because we want that for where we're going. We don't need that, we don't need that. That's been delivered, that's been delivered, that's been delivered, that's been delivered. What is the Navis stockpile of the orange, or no, the yellow? Orange is what we're taking, what we're bringing stuff to Navis, or to, what's it called? Bringing to Gleba for. Okay, so we got 1,000, so let's say that it can pick up the 1,000 for the destination there. One rocket load. And then, yeah, bring up metal. I may, in preparation, tell the rocket launch, or tell this place to stop taking deliveries, so that we have the rocket ready to go for quickly loading up the Buff Fizzle. So the between parts we don't have to wait for as long. For the rearming, right? Because we're running low on ammo. It's got enough to probably get safely back to Navis, but it's going to be running a little close as we're seeing more and more of the gun ports run empty. Yeah, so I think with that, well, we've already crossed the 1 hour mark, so I should go ahead and put a part break in. If you're watching YouTube, there will be another part up tomorrow, because I'm going to record another part tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short break between parts. Mainly I'm going to let the our space platform here pick up its 3 deliveries and sort of rearm. They're going to have it come meet us out at Flogora. That's how we'll start the next part up, is having it come up to Flogora to pick us up. And hopefully, well, we now have 20, and pick up the stack of electromagnetic plants. And then we'll head back to Navis. Maybe start doing some redesigning on Navis with using electromagnetic plants in thought. Again, we are slowly making the 2,000 of that we need. Once we have the 2,000 of that, we may just go over to Gleba and force the advanced asteroid processing. That'll be a little bit tedious because we'll have to figure out how to make 2,000 eggs safely. Well, 2,000 plus, because they spoil, and as they spoil, they're worthless. My face cringes at that thought. So yeah, with that, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. Bye for now.